do you refer to, since everywhere you look it says Palestinians and Palestine, so how do you refer to them if you're talking to them so that people understand what you're talking about?
I call them Palestinian Arabs, Palestinian being an adjective, not a proper noun. So,
okay, but that's you. But what do people in the press and people in the news, because they refer to them as President Abbas as the president of Palestine.
Well, some refer to him like that, and it's false. I mean, it's a false statement to make. There is no nation called Palestine. There is a Palestinian Authority, which is the name of the government of the Palestinian Arab people. But there is no Palestine, just like there is no Kurdistan. And I encourage people listening that if you see a reference to Palestine, and again, we're not talking about the city in Texas, we're not talking about a historical territory, then this should be corrected.
I think, by the way, Steve...
I just want to add that throughout history, the people, if somebody talked about a Palestinian, they were referring to somebody Jewish. If you look at the World's Fair exhibit in New York in 1939, there was, all the nations of the world and places around the world had halls representing them at the World's Fair. And the Palestine exhibition hall was all Jewish. So, I mean, you could look that up, Google it and research. There's a whole book and photos of the exhibit and everything. It's all Jewish. So
that was in 1939. Today, when I hear Palestine, I don't think Jewish. I do not think Jewish at all. I think,
but that's because of identity theft. I mean, the Jewish identity was stolen. See, what happened, it was very clever. You've got the KGB, and this is going to sound like some kind of conspiracy theory stuff. Now you can look it up. The KGB did conspire with the Arab League because what you had was a vast Arab territory of all these countries and all these people against a tiny underdog Jewish state, and they knew they needed to flip that around and make it so the Jews were not perceived as David, but the Jews were perceived as Goliath. So the Arabs created this Palestinian Arab identity, this minority, that was under the thumb of this powerful Jewish state of Israel. And that was done. It was brilliant strategically, very effective. Everybody's going along with it because nobody bothers to ask the question. Nobody asks the question anymore. Well, what's the difference between a Palestinian and a Jordanian? Nobody asks. Nobody knows the history of the land. Nobody knows how Jordan
they don't know our history.
Well, you want Americans to know this? You want Americans to know this? Most Americans don't know where Dallas is.
Right.
How are they going to understand
You're right. But it's important, A, because of the importance of the region, A, because of the amount of time and effort and energy that various presidential administrations have put into trying to achieve peace. It's because of all the aid, U.S. aid that goes into the region between Israel and Egypt,
Israel and
the Palestinian Arabs. So there's a reason to know. There's a reason to know where it is.
I agree.
I just don't think half the people know anything about our country, let alone.
And by the way, something people don't know about the country. I got to correct Steve a little bit here. While he made the references to Palestine, Texas, I just want to point out there's also a Palestine, Arkansas, and I've been there. There's a Love's Travel stop there. It's just off I-40 if you're traveling west on that interstate. So let's not forget about Palestine, Arkansas as well. That's all I had to make.
The people of Arkansas.
Yeah.
But I'll bet if you ask the city historian, whether it be Palestine, Arkansas, or Palestine, Texas, or wherever else there might be a Palestine in America, if you ask the historian, every city's got a historian, is your city named for a Jewish place or an Arab place? I guarantee you they're going to tell you it's named for a Jewish place.
Well, of course. It was named before 1967. There were no one called them the Palestinians before it became a calculated PR effort.